Welcome back, VCEers. We're looking at the serial position effect in this video. The serial position effect refers to the idea that the likelihood of information being remembered depends partially on whether it was presented at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of a list. There are two parts to the serial position effect, the primacy effect and the recency effect. The primacy effect suggests that the information learned at the beginning of a list is more likely to be remembered in immediate recall than information in the middle of that same list. Say you had a list of 20 random common words, for example. As the diagram shows, you are more likely to recall the first few words than those in the middle of the list. The reason for the primacy effect is that you have had more time to rehearse the items presented at the start than in the middle, and therefore, that information has had more time to be encoded into long-term memory. But then, why do you also remember more from the end of the list? Surely you have had even less time to rehearse those items. This is true, yet the recency effect suggests that information learned at the end of a list is more likely to be remembered in immediate recall than information in the middle of that same list. Why? Because that information tends to be the information most recently exposed to. It is still in short-term memory because it is not yet decayed. And considering that the recall is immediate, there is a slight buffer period in the duration of short-term memory. Let's now look at a practice question on the serial position effect. This is from the 2012 VCAR exam, and the question is worth 3 marks. It reads, explain how the characteristic shape of the serial position curve provides evidence for the existence of short-term and long-term memory stores. Nicole, how would we get the full 3 marks here?
It looks as though 1 mark is for explaining the characteristic shape of the serial position curve. The 2nd mark is for explaining how the primacy effect provides evidence for long-term memory. And the 3rd mark is for explaining how the recency effect provides evidence for short-term memory.
Cheers, Nick. So now we have a template for our response. We could say, the serial position curve shows that information tends to be recalled more effectively from the start and the end of a list, rather than the middle of that same list. The primacy effect, more effective recall from the beginning of the list, provide evidence for long-term memory stores. This is because the items at the beginning of the list have had more time to be encoded into long-term memory. Superior recall of these items indicates a successful transfer. Comparatively, the recency effect, more effective recall from the end of the list, provide evidence for short-term memory stores. This is because items at the end of the list are likely still in the duration of short-term memory. That is, they have not yet been lost from the short-term memory store. Keep working hard and have a psychedelic day. Because you know it's all about that wiki, Next video, it's all about that wiki, Next video.